built the central architecture. I have some following slides for that. For Karman and also for helping in the early discrimination, we also have built our own amateur radio ground station on top of one of the wind tunnels. So it was the highest building around at VKI. Only the tree line is a little bit higher, but apart from that, we have a good view around. We are currently also updating a little bit the equipment for hardware radio to have also there more flexibility. Yeah, that's more or less everything here. So that's a nice picture. I always included this present in the presentations. You see all the ground stations from the teams currently participating. So we have good coverage over the world. Coming back also to the issue then about the operational area, service area for the request, which makes it rather difficult to select then all the appropriate service areas. That's the end-to-end data flow. It's a little confusing. On the top part, you see the space segments, the satellites. You see the local ground segment at the QB50 team premises. You have the central server, which we take care at VKI to receive all the data which were downlinked by the teams. We also receive there the beacon data, which were received from radio amateurs. And then we can forward that back to the teams. So we can artificially increase the coverage for the satellites. We also include TLE providers to help them with the discrimination. So we have developed, or we will develop the final deployment scenario. We will coordinate that with NORAD for the tracking support, and we will feed back then also this information for tracking directly to the teams. And then also we have the science community here, which use the data downlinked before to update the science scripts to have a better coverage for certain events which were detected before. That's the central server interface, which is currently only accessible internally because we are currently still in development phase. But I think for the couple of next months, we will also have a public available version where we have then the visible satellites, ground stations participating in QB50, then also we can show the whole orbit data which we received from the satellite. So we have some graphing applications, tables. So also radio amateurs can see the status of the satellite and see what the spectrum is used for. So we also provide the beacon information, decoding information from all the teams. And then we also have this upload interface where the radio amateurs can upload received files and we distribute it to the teams. So it's rather versatile. Coming back to the frequency allocation and coordination, VKI is performing the space object registration for all of them in Belgium. So actually we did the first 2 Belgian satellites, we registered them last year. That was the precursor campaign. So we had a huge impact on Belgian law because they adapted also for us a little bit their rules. We are still in the coordination phase for some of the satellites with Yahoo, but I hope we can sort it out soon. To access the radio amateur spectrum, we also have included 2 payloads of the radio amateur community on the precursor satellites, which I will have one slide in the following, so that they can use or get use of that 2 launched satellites for their own purpose. Also, we will perform the ITU filing for ideally all of the satellites. We have sent out a fax informing all the local administrations. So ideally, you should get one fax from DFT in Belgium, asking for agreement to the deferred filing. We have so far got some feedback. I think not all of them have given us feedback back. Depending on that outcome, we will then do the RPI, the advanced publication, for the CubeSats where we have the acceptance. Currently, we will still, or we create still the SpaceCap file, because we have also, in our case, it was not the launcher which was the problem, it was more which CubeSat will fly. Since we have a couple of CubeSats and we don't want to file for 10, 15, which will in the end not fly, we decided to delay that process as soon or as far as possible, but now it's rather time, since we aim for the launch in 2016 to submit these adventure publications. Afterwards, we will perform the notification after we have integrated all the satellites in the dispensers and we ship it to the launch site. So in that, like that, we know what satellites will be launched and we have still a little bit time before the launch. So we will be hopefully there on time. Exceptions, as I said, CubeSats which will not use radio amateur bands, we will not do the coordination, so they are obliged to do their own coordination, and also teams with local administration rejections will also have to do their own filing, and QB50 will then check during the FRR campaign that all the necessary paperwork is done. So we're taking care of that there should be all satellites filed at ITU. And we did some troubleshooting with the precursor campaign, where we ran through the complete process with some iterations, but after all, I think we succeeded there a little bit late, but still hopefully not so late. So precursors, as you see today, I think already in the presentation from Jan Wuta, that's the two satellites with FIPEX and the INMS. They were launched into 650 kilometer SSO with a couple of payloads. So we have two transponders from AMSAT NL and AMSAT Francophone, I think was it. We have some additional payloads from VKI. We have the ATCS, which we also give free of charge for most of the CubeSat teams tested there, and the science unit. And as you see what consortium partners, you see what partners did what work. And it was rather a short time, so it's possible to have a satellite ready in below 9 months. And some data. So currently we are in the last phase of science unit checkouts, and after that we can hand over the satellite to the AMSAT community by enabling the transponders, and then you can use it for your communication. I think that's all. Maybe a small remark. If you receive beacon data, you can upload it at that address. The beacon format is also published here. If you have some bugs or other questions about the interface, you can always send an email to me. Thank you. We have the CubeSat Symposium end of this year, again in Belgium, in Liège. So if you want to present something, feel free to submit an abstract. And that's all from my side.
Thank you very much. Finally, I'm not an important person, but I can say that on behalf of the Bureau, I feel that we are much more happy now, based on this presentation, that it's going to a good direction, the QB50. And one small data information that I don't know if you recognize. For such a number of satellites from different countries, we try really to help. That's why we suggested to QB50 project to do one API filing on behalf of. That's why they are sending now letters. Don't be surprised if some administration you have participating in the QB50 project and you agree. From regulatory point, it can be that it will be a Belgian filing to ITU on behalf of, let's say, Czech Republic, on behalf of other countries, to have one filing to Bureau, but after then the Belgian administration to fix all the paperwork, the APIB, etc., etc. But there is a possibility that one strong administration, well prepared, can do the work on behalf of other administration, but the drawback is only a small one, that legally it will be as a launching state, and the UN everywhere declared as Belgium as a launching state. That's why just devil is in details, be careful. And now, finally, I hope I'm correct. Now it's Mr. LAIFR who will show the first Czech project, and after then it will be Mr. Daniel who will show the second Czech project. I'm extremely happy that the Czech Technical University is showing their project that they are going to fly soon in the space. Let's go.
Okay, thank you, Attila. My name is Jaroslav, LAIFR, not LAIFR, but that's typical for, it's a German name. I'm from the Department of Measurement from the Czech Technical University here from Electro Faculty, and I would like to talk about the CzechTechSat project. First of all, I would like to ask you, how many people here have heard about us? Please raise your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, couple. Okay, that's great. So the second important point, Jordi. I would like to welcome you in Prague because I know how long is a trip from the Prague to the West Coast, which I love. So I never thought that you would come here and the CubeSat community because, you know, Prague is not the center of space science and space technology, as you know. So I hope that you enjoyed yesterday's night and maybe today's night, at least as well as I always enjoy the Firestone Grill in the downtown Oslo. So, especially those 4-inch onion rings that I love, really. So, yeah, so welcome here. This was also the time to say that the Prague was the city where I, in the history, in 2000, I don't remember exactly, but 2006, something like that, where I first downloaded and opened and read the PDF called the CubeSat Development Standard, and I was shocked, which was a huge time for me. So, so welcome here in Prague. A few words about me. I'm technical lead of the low voltage power supply, which is intended to be flown to the Jovian system aboard ESA JUICE mission in 2022, hopefully. Also, I'm involved in development support of the LVPS PDU, which is a power distribution unit and low voltage power supply for a solar orbiter, which should fly in 2018. I was also involved in LD package, which was the plasma package intended to lunar lander, which was concluded as stopped project at ESA level. I love fault-tolerant system in terms of electronics, in terms of software, hardware. So I found the CzechTechSat project. And I've heard also from someone that I'm the first space-related PhD candidate here at the faculty, so it's my big honor to talk to you. My life goal is to help people or Elon, as you know, to visit Mars safely in terms of reliability. Why Mars? Because I think it's a logical step in the human conquest of space, and the same importance as was the Werner von Braun for conquest of the moon is now Elon Musk for conquest of the Mars. Someone can disagree with that, but I think the numbers will show it that he will manage it in couple of years. The problem connected with the electronics and radiation in connection with the CubeSats can be described by this very simple picture. You have typically some solar cells, some batteries, some charging, discharging circuits, some battery protection circuits which are extremely sensitive to radiation. And one living, or let's say not living example was the CzechTechSat and their telemetry downloaded last year, the last one. So you can see the voltage here and the drop down at the end of the mission, which was caused by radiation. They correlated very well with the solar flares. So it's really important to take into account the radiation in space in terms of electronics. In 2011, late 2011, we came up with the CzechTechSat project. It was born and it had 2 kilograms and 227 millimeters in length. So we were involved in QB50 as well, but finally we concluded that what was in a schedule, in a very tight schedule of QB50 project, and what was on the CubeSat market was more like the commercial toys rather than spacecraft components. So we decided to give up the QB50 participation, and we gave up this project and started to build our own components from scratch.